Today I'm joined by Vedad. He is over in Bosnia, and I welcome him to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. And I always like to start off with a basic question. So please tell us about yourself.
My name is Vedad Alijagić. I come from Bosnia and Herzegovina. I am a 16-year-old goalkeeper, and I'm a goalkeeper in Genka Bratstvo.
Over the career, it's been quite interesting. I mean, it's your birthday today. You're now 16, so
Yeah,
happy birthday. And
thank
you've
you,
started
thank
up
you.
front, and now you're in goal, and you've gone around the grounds. And especially the one that sticks out to me is playing above your years. I mean, you were like 14 playing for under 19s, and you've really
Yeah,
beaten the rest, even though you started late. But what was your initial interest in football? How did that come about?
well, I started football from like year 5, 6. My parents really pushed me into it, and yeah, I just started playing as a striker, and because most parents want their kid to be an attacker, to score goals, and as a kid, you always love to score goals. So I started there, and I was a bit of a bench warmer. I was over the top with the kgs, and uh, I was more on the bench. So yeah, I was like a super sub, if you can call it like that. And I was playing attacking and midfield sometimes. And
Were you
then,
quite good in those positions?
well, I was okay. I mean, I always wanted to start goalkeeping from the start, but my parents always forced me up to score goals, and I was okay. Nothing really special.
Do you think that you could have gone down the route that you are now if you played in those roles?
Probably not. I mean, maybe, but I don't really think so. I think I am better in the position that I am right now as a goalkeeper.
You started at the age of 6 years old, and as we spoke about, you played striker initially, and you went into Europe to go and play some tournaments. Could you talk us through those tournaments that you ended up winning?
Yeah, at Nogometna škola Zmajevi, we had a coach, and he always took us to tournaments in Slovenia, Germany, all of those places, Croatia, and we always had a great team. We were really compact and good, just good chemistry we had as a team. And these local tournaments, we were easily winning them, and they didn't have a chance against us. And on those tournaments on the other side of Europe, they were really good teams. So it was more competitive, and it was really great. I have a lot of medals back at home, and when I always look at them, I have great memories.
When you went to these countries, you mentioned a few there. Germany is one that does catch my eye. Do you remember what they were like in their style of play? Because we know what the Germans are like as men, but did you see them as kids in such tactical positions?
As kids, yeah, they were tactical, 100%. Pretty much everyone was tactical wherever we went, Slovenia, Croatia, but Germany was something different. They had a great defense. That's when I can remember. They always were good defense, uh, and they were really tall and big as kids. Also, the attackers I can remember were pretty fast as kids from those tournaments, really fast, and the defenders were really big. That's what I can fully remember, and the chemistry, crazy, crazy.
As a striker, then, when you were playing in these other countries, what did you think? Did you get a lot of the goals, or were you struggling to get the ball?
I was pretty much what do you call it, a target man. I was pretty tall for my age, and I always was in front of the goal. Cross in, it's me. So when I came in, I always were like in front of the goal. Didn't really do like a false nine. Wasn't really involved in the playmaking. I was just in there to score goals, a bit like Erling Haaland.
The transition then must have been very difficult. We're gonna talk in depth about the whole career, but the transition that stuck to me, obviously, was the goalkeeper that you used to be a striker. And for a lot of people, that does remain. Some people like to stay up front, but for some people like yourself, you decided to go back into goal. Why did your parents allow you to go into goal in the end?
Because at our club we had a starter goalkeeper. He was all right. He was solid, and there was a bit of a controversy, and the club split into two. A new club was formed, and the goalkeeper went there, and our new goalkeeper was really meh, so I can say. And I couldn't stand it. We were losing the local tournaments. We weren't the same as before, destroying the local tournaments and winning some out of our country. And now we couldn't win anything even local. So I decided to go and goal, and I just clicked. I don't know. I didn't even take a long time to learn the catching or anything. I just clicked. I don't know how.
But there must have been some sort of friction, if you like, that maybe there was a few missed catches before you could now do what you can today. Do you remember a moment that stuck out to you that you regret going in goal?
I do remember one moment. There was a throw-in, but when we were kids, you used to shoot the throw-ins. And I was standing on the near post, and one guy actually tried to whip it in. And when I tried to catch it, I touched it and went through it went through my hands. So it counted as a goal. There was a few situations like that, but nothing like really uh, stood out.
The tournaments that you played in Europe, you're privileged to do that because a lot of people don't have the opportunity to even play locally at some clubs around the world. So to go to all these countries, you must have learned some things, even though you were playing as a striker. And those things, did you take back into the goal? Did you learn off those?
Yeah. I remember as a striker, when I see a kid make a save, it's crazy. When I shoot full power as a kid, and when someone throws himself making a worldly save, that's as a striker you're just like crazy. And that's I saw kids catching balls easily, like without any disturbance, like just easy this, and easily making saves. And that for me is like so elegant. I don't know. And when I went to goalkeeper, I just thought of that, and I made it myself easier.
The transition that you've had has been within a few years. So we're now going to learn that you joined the local team at the age of the under 12s at the age of 10 years old, and you were in the first team of that team at 10 years old. I mean, that's a big jump of 2 years because when you start to get to 12, you start to become automatically more physical. It starts to become faster,
Yeah, more
more
physical.
tactical. So, what do you do then to adapt at such a young age?
Uh, well, pretty much I what's it called? Just gave it my best. I knew I was a little less physical. I knew I was smaller. I knew I was, but I always wanted to give my best, and I always tried with my football career to always give my best and focus on the game, even at the young age. I never really like to watch the opponent how good he is. I always try to make myself better, even if I'm playing against Ronaldo or I'm playing against a child, you know. I just try to like boost myself, boost my mentality, and just prepare myself, even against uh, someone who is 6 feet tall or someone who is 5 foot. It's the same. I just need to focus mentally.
As a goalkeeper, how do you train? Because you could just say with someone else, but is there a possibility that you can train by yourself? Or when you are with your mates and your friends, do you work with the ball at your feet?
Uh, because I was a striker, I think I have a little bit of an advantage with the football play, and I'm a little better with my feet. And with alone training, it's a bit hard because you need to you need to have someone shoot at you to train diving, train catching, and but pretty much when I'm alone, I can train distribution mostly. I can do goal kicks, I can do passes, I can even do a bit of handling when I shoot at the wall and it bounces off. But it's really harder. it's better with a goalkeeper trainer or even with some mates.
Do you remember how that season went when you were playing 2 years older than you? How did the season end up going?
The first season.
Yes, yeah.
Um, I don't remember much because, but I do remember. I do remember, for instance, my first game. We were playing against what's it called the Phoenix, the club that distributed from Zmaev, and we were playing them in a game, and what's it called I they won 1-0. They scored in the last minute. I remember that was so devastating, but I do remember my big save that game. There was like a player on the 16-yard box, and he just whipped it in on the first post, shot in the top corner, and I was really small, so I jumped and did an overhand save, and I remember the whole crowd cheering and clapping, and I still remember the picture perfectly to this day. It was one of the best moments of my career, 100%. And I do remember we were an okay team. We finished maybe mid top of the table, if I can call it that, and we were okay. We could win against the best team, and we can lose against the worst. It's because we had a okay mediocre team, if I can say that.
As a goalkeeper, it must be quite challenging because I'm not entirely sure if you've ever had it, but you get in a general, you get blamed a lot for mistakes, or if the team loses, you're the one who's letting the goals. When people start to criticize you, how do you feel as a goalkeeper?
Uh, it depends. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes when it's like what's it called a big game, and I make a mistake and everyone blames me for it. It hurts. Like I know I betrayed the team, and what's it called? It just feels somehow bad, like I betrayed the team. But sometimes I know I didn't make the mistake, and I just take it like, yeah, say whatever you want, but I know I wasn't in the wrong.
So the second season that he spent at USK Cantonal in the under 12s, it probably would have been under 13s at this point. In the second season that he spent at the club, how did that one go? Was it better or was it worse?
That was USK Canton. That was like a football team from the cantonal, from the canton, like Unsksanski, uh, and we were playing against other cantons. That it was a tournament. So we were playing against Sarajevo Canton, we were playing against Tuzla Canton, and all of the other cantons. So I was in the first team. I got called up to be the first team goalkeeper, and in the first game we won 1-0. I remember we were playing. I think it was Tuzla Canton actually. We were playing, and it was a really tough game. It was 0-0 most of the game, and I think in the like 5 minutes till the end, one of our players goes and scores a screamer from like 20 meters, 25 meters, which was crazy back then as a child. You know, some people can even get the ball to go 5 meters, and he scores a goal from 25 meters. It was crazy, and it was raining, so we all slid. The it was so crazy, but the game was so hard, and I had a lot of great saves.
This team that you are at currently, it made you have a bit of an eye opener because you then went on to go and move to another team, and you were playing I think now a year older. So you were in the under 14s when you were
Yeah,
13.
yeah,
In the 1920 season, and we all know what happened in 2020 with coronavirus, and it ended up getting
yeah,
cancelled due to the virus. Did the season even start, or did it just get called off straight away?
yeah. The season started. It was. I think it went to the half season. Uh, it went on for one half of the season, and we were first by a few points. I was playing in the year olders, uh, and it was great. We always had a great team, and I was really good at goalkeeping. Then I was, so it was like just a great compacted team, great chemistry and everything. And the coronavirus really took that away. Most of them went stop. Some of them stopped playing football. Some of them went out to play in Germany. Stopped playing football, went to somewhere else, and yeah, it just really the corona ruined the club pretty much.
Do you believe that if coronavirus didn't come and destroy what happened in that season, do you think you would have had a good season, or how do you think it would have gone?
We would win, definitely. We were by far the best team in the league, 100%. We were so compact. That was maybe one of the best teams I ever played for, if not the best, because we were just so good of a chemistry. Even though I was not playing at home, we were traveling to training. We always went to training. One of our parents, because there was a few people from my city, and then we will go like maybe 10 kilometers to go to the stadium, and always one of our parents are driving us, and we were always so focused and just always we just loved our one another, and we were so compact and good with each other. No one ever said anything bad to one another, and we were just so compact. And that team was probably the best team I have ever played for.
So when coronavirus came along and you were all very focused in football before Corona, how did it come along? How did you train in COVID? Were you all split apart? Did you try and meet up?
Uh, During COVID, I took a pause because no one actually really wanted to go, and during the pandemic, even my parents were like, "Don't go, you can get corona and everything," and we were in a lockdown also, so it just no one really trained or played anything. Pretty much everyone was in what's it called in lockdown, and no one almost even played. So even when I asked someone, "Hey, could you go on to the training ground?" I did a few times with a few of my mates, but nothing really special.
So then when you came out of lockdown and the restrictions started to ease and you guys could go and train and play football again, was everyone at a bit of a disadvantage as a whole? So everyone didn't train for a few months, so you were all kind of on the same level? Or were there some people that did train and you were behind them?
I think everyone was even at a disadvantage. Even those who trained, you can only pretty much train with yourself. So they were good at like maybe themselves, but when they had to play with the team, it was still a disadvantage because you didn't play with the team for how many months? A
A
few
year?
months. Yeah, in Britain a year. I think it was in Bosnia like 6 months. So you didn't play team football for 6 months. You have to be at a disadvantage. Maybe uh, you maybe with yourself you had a minor disadvantage because you trained, you did this, you went to the gym or anything, but the team 100% took toll.
We'll go back to talk about what happened afterwards, but I want to talk about your journey as a whole to where you are today. There must have been some specific saves or even goals when you were up front in a particular memorable match or significant moment in a game. Could you share with us a few moments?
When you said goal, one thing popped in my mind. We were, I think, in Slovenia. We were playing. That was when I was a child when I played for the night, and we were. I think it was a draw, like 1-1, and it was the last 7 seconds, and it was a corner. And because I was the tallest, I always stood in the middle of the goal, and the cross came in, and they didn't like clear the ball. It like hit at the back of a player, and I went back for the ball. I hit it a volley, and it went top bins on the near post. I remember it so perfectly. Like it was the last 7 seconds, and I think we that was the quarter final, and we went to the semifinals, and we eventually won that tournament.
What about in goal then? Because we'll go on to learn that, or we can go on to learn now actually, that you've started to record your games for your CV to give it to clubs later down the line and to show what you're about. And I saw a few penalty saves on there. I saw a few saves that are just quite good. I'm not going to lie; they were very, very good saves.
Yeah,
And
thank you, thank
even
you.
now, you are still playing with players above you. You're playing with men's, I believe, and you're making all these saves.
Almost, men's.
Let's just
It's
say men's. You're playing with all these. You're
yeah,
playing with all these people that are definitely older than you,
yeah.
more physical, playing for a lot longer. Could you name me a few moments, penalty saves, last minute saves?
um, Still in this what's it called this league, there are a little bit of controversies. Refs not being paid, but just what's it called, just giving it to the other team. And there are some great saves. I can't lie. I love playing with the olders because it's more challenging. I played one with my age players, and it was almost boring. I don't know. Uh, Maybe I'm just used to playing with olders and playing harder football, but it was just pretty much boring playing with my age. No one had like a shot from like a 19-year-old. You can't compare a 19-year-old shot to a 16-year-old shot. It's a big difference, and it's just there's a few saves like one in Banja Luka, the header. I think it's in the CV. There was a cross and the header came in. It was like on the near post, but on the 5 yards, and it was a quick reaction save, and I just put my hand out like this and saved it basically from the line, and the ball gets booted up, and our striker gets on the ball and dribbles past everyone and sadly misses, but it was, and we got a corner, I think, and we it was like a great counter attack from already from my save, and I remember their fans coming to me behind the goal saying, "This should have been your goal. You made the save, and the ball gets booed up. This it should have been your goal." So that's one save I fully remember. Uh, what's one more? I'm trying to think. Maybe a few saves against Željezničar sport team. They're also from Banja Luka, but we were playing at home. And there were a few great saves in that game. The first one is uh, there goes a through ball to the striker, and I just close down on him and spread as far as I can, and I save it with my right leg that I left behind me. And another one was there was a cross, and our defender missed the ball, and he hit it a volley first time. It was going bottom corner, and I fully stretched out saved. Both of those saves are in the CV. You might have seen them.
You've also, I mean, you keep mentioning to me about playing in front of fans. So, are you playing for a team that's in the local area that has a mini stadium? Does it have supporters?
Yeah. It has a stadium. The capacity is around 500, I think. But most of the time, there are a few hundred people, maybe 100 people watching the game. So it's you can. There are a lot of people chanting, and it's a big ovation. I mean, because the most of the players, some of the players even play for the first team, and that's like a senior, and this is junior, and still we are uh, one of the best teams in the league, and there are a lot of people, even the opposing fans sometimes come, and it's great. It's great playing in front of fans. I love it.
So then, after the lockdown season came, and after the 6 months, you went back into football. You joined an under-16s team at the age of 13, and then you ended up finishing second in the league, and you were a starter in that team. But at the age of 13 years old, how did you prove them wrong?
I mean, it's a bit of a crisis with goalkeepers, so that's maybe why I had a bit of luck. But I was really good for my age. I mean, in training, I always made worldly saves, and the coach came to me and said, "You'll play for us, 100%. Get your papers and come to us." And I was like, "Okay." But that team was the season before last with 1 point, and everyone had decided to go there. And I was like, I'm gonna go also. And playing for the year olders, it wasn't actually a big of a difference. I mean, it's a it wasn't very challenging. Maybe a few teams, and some teams were okay, had a few players that are good. But I stood up really well. I can say 100%. There are even a few clips from that season. And I mean, it was just a great challenge to try.
But when you're at the age of 16, 17, and we're in a team and you've got a 12, 13-year-old player joining, you would have negative opinions about them. Did you ever feel like there was negative opinions shaped towards you?
Yeah, but I tried to brush it under the rug. I mean, I really tried to focus mostly on myself. That period was when I actually really started training pretty much every day with the coach. I think I was the only one with every single training participated, and I mean, I just love to prove everyone wrong, and I there was 100% doubts of players that maybe didn't play with me at the club before, 100%. But the ones that played with me the club before, I don't think that was anything bad thought about me. But the new players that I started to play with, 100%, they thought, "What is this kid doing here with us? We have 16. What's he doing with 13 years old?"
You mentioned that there was a lot of memorable moments in that season and that you stuck out a lot. However, you did finish second in the league. So was the team that finished above you, was it annoying? I mean, not annoying. Was it rigged? Was it controversy? What happened?
It was annoying, I can say that, and it was really, really controversial. I mean, when we went out to play at their ground, I remember this perfectly. There was a challenge outside of the box, me and the striker, and when I slid for the ball, I didn't even touch the striker, and he stood on my hand. It was even outside of the box. He stood on my hand and I screamed. I thought we got a foul. The referee pointed to a penalty. It was outside of the box and he stood on my hand. So I remember that perfectly, and that was for a 3-2 lead for them. And that game I remember perfectly. We were 1-0 up. Even from I just remember the goal that was disallowed for us. It was the goalkeeper's kick. I don't know how do you call it in England. And one of our players, older players, because I was 13, I cannot kick as him, and he booted it up, and it went over the defense, and our player was in our half of the field, and he went straight for the keeper, and it was called offside. So it's pretty much rigged. I mean, but it was annoying, but there was still a lot of fun memories from that season.
But why is it rigged? Because you mentioned earlier that they didn't get paid. So why did they think that this team should win over that team?
I think it's pretty much because the ref is theirs. I mean, it's their ref from their country, no, their city, and it's mostly sometimes even the one of the refs is a player from the first team of that team. So it's always pretty much that, and it's always pretty much a player from the first team rigging a little bit for the team he loves.
Because in England, when we play in any division, you always have certified FA referees. Was that not an option in Bosnia? Was it just anyone who wanted to be the ref?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a weaker league, and sometimes the what's it called, the real ref, the one not the sideline ref, but the first ref, he was a certified ref, of course. But the club appoints the ref, and the club always wants to help themselves, and they appoint a ref that they know that's gonna help them. So it's pretty much always that. Oh, and it's sad, but what can you do?
Is there a way to overcome that bias? Is there a way to just genuinely better on the day, or will they just keep rolling offside, offside, offside?
Offsides. We can be better. I mean, in our last game, like with Bratstvo right now, we were playing at home, and they sent us a ref from a that previously in the season already stole from us. So we were like, we have to be better than the team and the ref. And the referee gave a red card for no reason. And we were playing with 10 men and we somehow won, still 1-0. So, I mean, there is a way to overcome it, but it's hard when even if you have a referee against you, it's like 12 against, in that example, it's 12 against 10. So it's hard, but we give it our all.
We're going to talk about ambitions and where you would like to be heading within the next few years later on, because we need to finish off the story. Because currently, you've stayed another year at a club that I'm not going to pronounce, but it starts with a Z. Z. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it.
Željezničar.
There we go. Perfect. And you stayed there for another year and you started to film your games and your saves for your CV. And that's really helped you because that's helped you stay in track with what you want to do, build on your maybe not so good saves, etc. So then what
Yeah.
happened? You stayed another year. What was that season like, building upon of the more physicality in the league?
It was maybe a little bit easier and harder. Easier because I'm a little bit older. I have more more experience, but harder because almost everyone left. We were pretty much always playing a game without a few players. Like we started the game with 9 or 10 players sometimes. Sometimes even the minimal amount for the game we started with like 7 or 8 players. We went once to a game uh, against Kamengrad, and we were playing there. We went there with 7 players. We finished the game. I think we lost like 1 or 2-0, and it was a goal from a penalty. Both goals, I think. Actually, one goal was from a penalty, and one goal was from a one-on-one situation. So, I mean, it was a great experience for me. I mean, I made a lot of saves, but it was really like annoying going to a game where you know if you had your full squad, you'd beat them easily, and losing to them only because you had minor players, it's a little bit annoying, but what can you do? At least I made good saves.
Well, those good saves actually meant that you got called up to the men's first team, to the now adults first team, and you played a few friendlies with them, but you did have some registration issues to be able to play league games. So, what was that experience like? Was it boring?
I mean, I wanted to play with the first team, but when I got the information that I'm 15, I can't play, or 14, I can't play, it hurt. I mean, because I know I'm good enough, even though they are adults. Like one game, we were playing against the champion of the cantonal division, the division which Željezničar is in, and I think they lost in the league when I wasn't playing. They lost like 3 or 4-0, or 3-1 or 4-1, something like that. And I stood in goal, and the game finished 1-0. The only goal I could see that was from a penalty. So I think I could have even helped them a lot, but what can you do? It's the rules.
In those friendlies, though, you must have learnt even more, right? You must have got more experience with playing with people that are much more physical now. So you kind of bridge the gap between the 16s and now you're going to the men's. But what were they like in Bosnia? Are they big, tough guys, or are they fast? What are they like?
They are big guys, 100%. Some of them are even fast. Like the tall people, they have long legs. They one step and he's almost in front of goal. And they are all pretty much like 1 meter 90, almost 195, almost everyone. And it's a bit scary to see those people. Like back then, I was like maybe 180, and seeing those people like looking at them like this, it's even scary. But I tried to brush it under the rug and always give my best, and I helped the team get a draw. So I'm really proud of that.
That then came to an end. You then moved once again to GNK Brasco, which is a team that I actually can pronounce. And at the age of 15, you moved to join an under 19s team. So again, you're always playing above yourself within quite a few years. I'm going to ask you the same question. Again, you must have learned more, but would you have rather played with the men's first team?
Uh, I think it's better to play here because the men's team they play at the cantonal division. It's almost like a Sunday league. I think that's the correlation with Britain. So it was there are a lot of like controversies and stuff doing there, but and I seen them at Genka Brasov, the under 19s. I've seen that they've joined a like a quality division, not the first one, but the second tier. So I play a lot of clubs, not just from the canton, but the whole of Bosnia. So I thought it was better, and I think it's better still to stay at under 19s and not yet go to the first team, but to gain just a few more experiences with the under 19s, and then in a few years to go to the first team.
In Bosnia, it's quite a small country, but is football the main sport? Is there a lot of football teams out there?
Football is the main sport, but even football, it's not really evolved greatly. A lot of it is money and paying to go to play for a team. Uh, you pay to play for a professional football team. Like it's really annoying, but I know a lot of people that have great talents, perfect with the ball, and can't go anywhere because there's someone that's paying for the position. So if even if he's like a million times better, he still won't play because there's a guy who is paying for the position to play. So it's a bit what's called rigged, but the main idea is to go somewhere else and play normal football, show my talent. That's even why I started posting on LinkedIn, so I can hopefully someone sees me, so I can show my talent.
But it must be quite difficult when the country as a whole doesn't provide for the youth and provide them the ability to play football for free. They're very, very good. So, is that a possibility? Do you think the Bosnian government and the leaders in Bosnia would be able in the next few years to invest into football?
Uh, Even with the state of the national team, I don't think it's a possibility because even the national team it's a shambles really. It was great in 2013-14 when it was our first qualification for the World Cup in Bosnia, and after that it all went downhill, and there was a period when we got better, and it sort of fell down again. And even if there is a chance of football being better, it's maybe the national team, not these younger leagues. 100%.
I'm not entirely sure who the goalkeeper is of Bosnia. I don't think it's a well-known name. Do you think in the next few years Bosnia could be looking at you to be called up?
Hopefully, I mean, I'll give my best, and hopefully one day I will play for the national team. The goalkeeper is pretty good, but there are a few mistakes. But he's still a professional goalkeeper. It's a big, what's it called? There's a big weight of playing with our national team because of our ultras and our fans. They're all what's it called crazy, pretty much. And after every game that we lose, there was, for instance, in the last game, they threw uh, like fireworks on the pitch because we were losing to Luxembourg, I think. And I don't think Luxembourg even has a professional division. So pretty much we were playing against amateurs and we still lost. So it's really a shambles right now, and no one plays with their heart.
Are you good enough now to be able to be called up?
I don't think so really right now, but hopefully in the near future.
And LinkedIn will help you with producing these saves, and it will help you to boost out the posts.
I think so, and hopefully it will.
Okay, so then what happened after this? So you played the friendly with the first team, but then once again you transferred, as we spoke about, at the age of you were playing under 19s at the age of 15. You had a good season, you said to me, but you finished ninth in the table. So talk me through that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good season, and the team was really a shambles. Like, we finished ninth, and it was not that great, really. I mean, I had a lot of saves, but we still lose because of the team. It was really bad, but I know at least I gave it all from myself.
There was controversy. You said there was more controversy, just to add to the controversy that's been filled so far. Was it the referees once again?
Yes, the referees are always a bad example, but even though I mean, everyone says it's the referees, but the problem is, it actually is. I mean, that's the real problem, because everyone says, oh, they lost, they are just blaming their loss on the referees. But when you actually see the game in real life, you're like, how did they lose? How is that offside? How is that a penalty? And yeah, it's just annoying, really.
So then after that, you have moved teams once again. You've decided to move with your teammates, right? So talk. Why would you choose your teammates over your career?
I mean, because there isn't a lot of us really. So when we moved from like Slaga to Željezničar, and it was always in talks in talks with my teammates. So we decided, hey, we finished here. Let's go. Let's all of us go here, so we can continue to have a good season, not like spread out and 5 players are in Slaga, 3 players are in Željezničar, and a few others are in Bratstvo. So we can still stay compact, and we can together try and win the league or just make a great season.
You were training very hard in that season, and you were dedicated. But a lot of people say they're dedicated, and sometimes it doesn't really show on the pitch. So how do you ensure that your passion and your dedication speaks above the rest?
uh, I mean, firstly, I show my dedication with talking with my players. I always command everyone, stay back, push up, offside trap, or go on to him, leave the second post. And like, I command with my players, and pretty much the dedication shows with the saves, pretty much always. So whenever I make a save, I know everyone saw that. Everyone knows that I tried. Everyone knows, even though if sometimes we lose, I still give my best also, and I always try to make it seem so, and so it shows on the pitch, so everyone knows what's happening.
The season that you're currently having, what's that been like? What team are you? Are you still playing with your friends?
Yeah, I'm still with my friends. I mean, I'm still with those from the year olders. So we all decided, hey, Bratstvo is going to the quality league. Let's all go there and just just give our best and try a harder challenge, because all of those years was in cantonal league, and this one is the quality league. This one is 1,000 times harder, and we all talked, and we were messaging each other. hey, are you going to Brasov? They are going to the quality league. Let's all meet up. Let's all have a great season, because we most of us knew each other, and there isn't like too much to what's it called to grow chemistry, because the chemistry was already there, maybe with not with a few players. So pretty much it's a point of chemistry and just wanting to a new challenge, because every time we went with a talk with our mates. So hey, I what's called I would love to go here. Is that okay with y'all? And will y'all follow me? Because it's stupid for like me and a few others to go one place and other few go to that other place, and it just none of the clubs will be good. They will all be mediocre, and but when we all go to one club, the club will be good. There will be a chemistry, and there will just be a football. It will just be great football.
You are looking for opportunities elsewhere, but do you mean inside Bosnia? Are you allowed to play outside of Bosnia?
Uh, I'd love to play outside of Bosnia, because football, I mean, it's the top sport in Bosnia, but as I said, it's not really that good. And I'd love to play somewhere else where there's a lot of room for improving. Like maybe playing in the German third division is maybe even better than playing in Bosnian first division, because there's still room for improvement. And when you play in Bosnian first division, it's not that big of a what's it called hard of a league. I mean, it's hard, but not like Germany or Croatia, for example. And pretty much, it's just better to play in a bigger country. It is probably harder because I will be a foreigner, and I think I'd have to get even a visa and everything and all that. But when I have the opportunity, I will give it my all. I have nothing to lose.
And how long are you expecting until something like that comes about?
Hopefully, I'd love for something to happen at the end of the season. I mean, I'd love for something to happen, but only God knows. So we'll see. Hopefully, in the near future.
And how's this season coming about? Are you doing well in the league? Are you struggling?
Uh, I mean, we are doing okay. The first few games, because we had a lot of what's called new players added, so we had to get the chemistry straight, and we had troubles with the trainer. Our trainer left us a few days before the game, so we had to get a new trainer, and it just took a toll, basically, on us. But I mean, we made some mistakes against some lower clubs, but I mean, we beat some of the top clubs in the league. So I think we're doing pretty well for our first season in the quality league. It's our first time playing quality football, if you know what I mean. And pretty much, it's a big challenge for all of us, not even just me, but for every single player. But it's a great challenge, and I love playing in it. I mean, I always give it my best, and I think I'm doing pretty well. And I mean, it's just a great league to play in.
I've spoken to two goalkeeper coaches now within the last week, and they've been talking me through what they do in training, and it's varied. They do different things to improve their goalkeepers. They obviously have different goalkeepers. One of them's in Albania, Albanian, but he's in North Macedonia, and one
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
is in Sweden. As a goalkeeper, how do you train? And if you have a goalkeeper coach, what do they implement on you?
There's a big problem because I don't have a goalkeeper coach, but I do train privately in Bihać right now with a goalkeeper coach, and we pretty much go over goalkeeping is basically the basics, but you just have to master it. Low dives, high dives. With me, I'm 190 91 or 92 centimeters tall, and making a top corner save is a lot easier than a bottom corner. And my coach knows that, so I mean, I do a lot of more low diving than high diving, and handling also is a big part of football, of goalkeeping. And when there's a shot coming at you like 90 kilometers per hour, you have to be ready to catch it. I mean, if you don't catch it and it bounces weirdly, the striker is going to pounce on it, and it's an easy goal. Only if you can somehow make a worldly save, but most of the time it's just a goal. So there's a big training thing with handling, and sometimes it's crosses and pretty much distribution.
How would you describe yourself as a footballer overall? Are you a leader? Are you one that just like is a quiet person? I mean, you're still about organising your defence, but are you organising the whole team as well?
I was really quiet before, and I don't know, I just didn't like commanding everyone, so I was just quiet and focused. But as a goalkeeper, you have to talk with everyone, take him, go there. But before, I was really quiet. But now I think I am somehow of a like a commander. I love to command everyone on the pitch, the strikers, the attackers, even the midfielders, everyone, the defense especially. Go up, like to the right back, go up. I'm going to put the ball up to the striker. He'll just flick it over. And there's a few instances. I have some of those in the sea, but some of them didn't get filmed. When I put the ball up and it goes perfectly over the defense, and there's a counter attack. I mean, there's a chance I scream at the player to turn around, put the ball up to him, and it's a counter attack. I mean, it's a great chance to score. And that's with the attack, with the midfield, always watch out. Back, you have two players left, and just pretty much uh, communicating with the whole team and commanding everyone. That's me right now. But before, I was really quiet.
Have you earned your respect? Because we spoke earlier about the older players maybe looking down on you, and you're still currently playing with people that are older than you. Have you earned your place in the team? Do they respect you now?
Yeah, they respect me right now. At the start, I mean, I knew everyone, but still, when you see a 15-year-old in a under 19-year-old team, it's still pretty much always what's he doing here? He should be with the cadets, and just basically they're probably 100% someone's looking down at me. What's he doing in goal? Why didn't we bring someone older, more experienced? But I think I've done really well for my first season in the quality league. Um, I mean, I do have a few mistakes, but it's part of the career. Everyone will have mistakes. Everyone will have bad days, bad games, and but I think I've really done really well, and I'm proud of myself for this season. And I think 100% I've earned my respect in the team.
Overall, in your whole career, have you taken the leap that you would have liked when you looked as a striker and thought that one day you're going to be a goalkeeper? Has the jump to where you are today, has it been good enough, or is there still a long way to go?
Uh, there is a long way to go, 100%, and I always aim for the best. I mean, I'd love to play on the top flight of football, and one day play in the Champions League, in the World Cup, with my national team. I'd love to try everything, but there's still a long way to go, and basically there is 100% still room for improvement, and I just hope that one day all my dreams will come true, and I will hopefully play with the things I want to achieve.
When you look around in the teams that you're playing with, I mean, you're probably playing with players that maybe are a bit too old to be able to fit into this category, but your age, 16, 17, 15, do you see there is a possibility for a new era of the Bosnian national team, or do you think that they're still not going to be good enough to compete?
Uh, It depends really, because the Bosnian national team is, like I said, pay for your position. And I said there are 100% even kids that play better than these adults that play for the national team. But I mean, he's like the son of the coach, so he has to play. I mean, there's a lot of players that are much, much, much better than some players in positions, even in like the third division of Bosnia. I mean, I see some players playing 1,000 times better than like a center back for Bosnia, making rookie mistakes. So you can always tell when someone is paying for their position. And I hope in the near future that these players will get their chance and show what they can do.
When you look around then, and you look at all these other teams that you've moved around, you've moved a lot in the last few years. Do you learn anything, or is it just the same easy game? You're not, because you need to be challenged in any position. And do you still feel like you haven't been challenged as much?
I have been challenged 100%. Playing with olders, it's really difficult. And right now, even in the quality league, there are a lot of people that are huge, people that have a shot super strong. It's just they are everyone is quality. Not there isn't like a in the cantonal league, for example, there isn't a team with a well, with five good players. Here it's 11 great players that know how to pass the ball, know how to play football perfectly. And right now it's the biggest challenge I've took 100% in my career, and I'm standing really well to it. I mean, we even have a great defense, a great team, and uh, it's just a fun playing. I mean, the best thing to have is have fun, and it's the most important thing. If you're not having fun, why even do it? I mean, even if it is a challenge, even if it is hard, you still have to have fun. So, I mean, I think I'm doing really well.
Let's say then, in the next few years, you joined the team and you were the second choice goalkeeper. Would you be there for long, or would you try and beat that keeper in the first spot?
Uh, I think I don't think I'd be at that team. I mean, it's great like getting paid and going to games, but I love being a goalkeeper. I can't spend my whole life sitting on the bench. I won't improve in any way, if you know what I mean. And it's just boring sitting on the bench. I mean, I know what it is to sit on the bench, so I never want to do that in my life. I'd love to play as a first team goalkeeper, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I will be the first goalkeeper in a huge club in the near future.
And we spoke earlier about where you would like to go. But is there a chance of England? I mean, in the first move out the country of Bosnia, are you looking more locally, or are you looking in the other side of the continent?
Uh, the problem with England is it's it's an island, and it will be really hard with me and my parents. I'm still underage. I'm still a child. I mean, I still have to have my parents advise me, and I think the best probably chance I got is with Germany, and hopefully there will be. I'd love to play with England because I mean I know the language pretty okay. I mean I'd like to think I'm okay with English, but German is a little bit harder of a language, and I always wanted to play in England because it's I don't know. I just love English football, and but I think the most realistically possible thing is Croatia, Slovenia, and Germany.
I spoke to someone from Australia the other day, but he's actually Iranian as well. And he's traveled around 10 countries. He's traveled to Mongolia, Gibraltar, France, Germany, Austria, so many different countries. Gibraltar, I mean, just sticks out so much. In
Yeah.
your career, if you had the opportunity to go anywhere in the world, would it be a repetition? Would you like to constantly be traveling and get the most out of the job? Or would you just like to stay in a few countries?
I mean, I'd love to stay at the club and pretty much be a club legend, if you know what I mean. But I'd still also love to travel the world. So, I mean, I'd love to have what's it called, challenges, for example. And I mean, it's the traveling with 10 other countries. It's a great challenge. I mean, you always end up at a new team and just try different things. So that's still great. And but I don't know. I'd love to stay at some place, for example, and be a club legend.
Vedad, that wraps up everything from me today. It's been an amazing talk for the last hour, talking through your career, where you would like to end up, and currently where you sit right now. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining me, and I wish you all the best in your career.
Thank you for having me, and wish you also the best. And thank you for having me.